Hello, and welcome to another English live stream. If this is your first time watching, you're very, very welcome. My name's Craig from mansioningles.com, where you can study English for free. And also, we have a podcast at inglespodcast.com. And if you're interested in conversation, you're welcome to visit my website, englishcraig.com, where you can book a call for conversation classes in groups. And let me introduce my partner in crime over there, Lynne from putitlikethis.com. Don't be fooled by false imitations. Welcome, Lynne.
What
How
an
you doing?
introduction. I'm a partner in crime. I'm fine, Craig. Thank you. Yes, so if it is the first time to join us, my name is Lynne. I am his partner in his part. Where am I?
You're over there. No, the
What
other
does that
way.
mean? That way.
The other way.
No,
It's
that way.
reverse. It's reverse. We'll get it. We'll get it right. It's only been 3 years. I mean, come on. We'll get it right eventually.
That's right. I'm his partner in crime, and we occasionally, well, we don't occasionally. We try to do this podcast every couple of weeks, don't we?
Try to do it. We try to do it.
We
That's an
try to
important
do it.
sentence. We try to do it. We'll explain later.
And we hope that you will learn something from us, and we enjoy having a chat to each other, and I hope you enjoy listening to us. Anyway, my name is Lynne. My website is putitlikethis.com. Craig and I don't normally work together, only on this live stream.
We used to.
We used to be colleagues, but I'm an online teacher. Putitlikethis.com is my business, and what I specialize in is tailor making courses for people. And I like to think that I help people find their own voice in English. So if you have a particular need that you need English for, maybe it's traveling, or you want to do an exam, or maybe you work in business and you have to make presentations, or maybe you're a teacher and you teach in English, but you'd like to improve, I don't know, methodology or even pronunciation or your delivery, then people come to me with those concrete needs, and then I try to design a course for them specifically, and I do all of that teaching online. That's my website, and you can find out more information on the website, and you can contact me over the website too.
Okay. So, if you are watching the replay, thank you very much. It's nice to have your company, even though it's not live. But if you are watching live, we would appreciate you saying hi, and just write in the chat your name and where you're from, so that we can say hello to you. We're going live on YouTube, LinkedIn, and on Facebook simultaneously. Now, we try to do these live streams every 2 weeks, and what we've been doing recently, every second week, we do a vocabulary exam-based live stream. And then alternately between those vocabulary live streams, we're doing some grammar, which we hope will be helping you to improve your English grammar. Now, regular viewers may remember that 4 weeks ago, Lynne, we did
4
infinitives.
weeks ago now, yes.
Yeah. We did infinitives and gerunds when following a verb. So sometimes you have a verb and then there's another verb immediately after it. Well, sometimes that verb is an infinitive and sometimes it's a gerund. Maybe you'd like to explain, Lynne, what the difference is between an infinitive and gerund for people who may not know.
Oh, wow, there he is. He's given me a big complex question at the beginning. Right, I better wake up. Right, so an infinitive is really the base form of a verb, and it always goes together, or it often goes together with the word to. So we have lots of verbs, for example, to dance, or to sing, or to play the piano, for example. Okay, so the infinitive is the verb, the base form of the verb, and often it goes together with the verb, with the little word before it, which is to, although there are occasions when it doesn't. So, for example, I can say, I like to do live streams. I can say, I want to play the piano. I like to meet new people through the live streams, and I can see that some people are logging on now. Another example, Craig, can you give me another example? Because I've just resourced
With an infinitive,
with an infinitive. Um,
I want to do more live streams. I want to
yeah.
do more live
Mm-hmm.
streams. I don't have the time, but I want
Mm-hmm.
to do it. So want is
Mm-hmm.
the verb and to
Mm-hmm.
do the infinitive.
Or
And
I've decided to go shopping tomorrow, for
yeah.
example.
So after decide, it's always the infinitive, and
To go. Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's a gerund. For
Mm-hmm.
example, the verb to avoid is followed
Mm-hmm.
by a gerund. I avoid taking my car to the center of the city. Too much
Mm-hmm.
traffic. I avoid doing that. So
Mm-hmm.
after avoid, we use the ing form of the verb, which is
Mm-hmm.
the gerund. So that's what we spoke about 4 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to continue with this theme, although this week we're going to look at verbs that are followed by gerunds or infinitives, but the meaning changes depending on whether it's a gerund or an infinitive.
Because in the last stream, and you can catch up with that one if you didn't see it, because it's on my YouTube channel, it's on your YouTube channel too, Craig. You'll see in the past episode, what we did was we talked about the verbs that take the gerund and the verbs that always take the infinitives. But today we're looking at a small group of verbs that can take either. But if they do, they change their meaning. But maybe we should say hello to a few people first, because
Yes,
we've
we'll
got more
say hello
people
to people who
joining.
are joining us. Now,
Mm-hmm.
this is you need to participate in this
Yeah.
live stream. So we expect you to do some work to write some examples in the chat when we've explained these verbs to you. But yeah, let's say hi to people who are with us. Ruth, hello, Ruth. Nice to see you. First time caller, first time attendee from
Hi,
Chile.
Ruth. Yeah, lovely. Hello. Nice to see you.
Nacho's
Ignacio.
here. Nacho in the house. Hello, Nacho. I saw Nacho yesterday.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Nacho's also already been active, giving us examples. I could see further down the list. But hi, Nacho. He's obviously raring to go.
Yeah, he's very active, Nacho.
That's great.
He likes to contribute. And Paolo, living in Ireland since October last year. Thank you for joining us, Paolo. Good to see you. You're
Lovely.
from Brazil. Great.
Okay. And
Orlando.
Orlando is from Colombia. Hello, Orlando. I don't think you've been here before either. So nice to meet you. Denise is from Greece.
Yes. Hi, Denise.
And yeah, okay. And Nacho was already remembering from our last class. He says he likes to play basketball and he avoids parking in the city centre. Me too.
Me too. Yeah. So, as we said, some verbs have a different meaning depending on whether they're followed by the ing form, the gerund, or the infinitive with to. Now, our first verb that follows this pattern or does this, has this behavior, is the verb stop. Okay? So, stop when it's followed by a gerund, an ing verb, means that the activity is not happening anymore. So it's something you have stopped doing. For example, I've stopped drinking coffee. I don't drink coffee anymore because I wasn't sleeping. So you have stopped doing this activity. Stopped drinking beer, stopped studying Chinese, stopped driving your car to the center of the city. So when you use the gerund, that means the activity has stopped. But it changes with the infinitive, doesn't it, Lynn? What happens with the
It does
infinitive?
indeed. Now, I don't know if you can remember from our previous class, we also said that when we use to sometimes has this idea of purpose. And there is a linker, which is in order to. No, and often we use that, but we forget to say in order. Now, that idea of the word to having a purpose is very interesting here because it can help you. So, for example, when you follow stop with a verb with to, it means that you stop doing something in order to do something else. It doesn't mean that you give it up forever. So, for example, you can say, I stopped working to have a coffee break.
Well, that should be I stopped to have a coffee break. That's wrong, isn't it?
Yeah, but you could also say I stopped working.
But that's the
You were
gerund, though,
doing
not
what
the
you were doing.
infinitive.
Oh, that's the gerund.
Yeah, so we've got to take. Let me change that because
Okay,
that
let's
could
change
be
that. Let's stick with the one about stopped smoking because I love that one. It's really easy. So you could
okay.
say, I stopped smoking, and we said previously that stopped smoking said that now you don't smoke anymore. But I stopped to smoke. And that means that you stopped doing what you were doing in order to smoke a cigarette.
There you
I
go. There's the
stopped
example.
to smoke a cigarette. And that definitely means that you are a smoker. All right. So that one is a very clear one, isn't it? To say, I stopped smoking, which means you stopped doing the activity, you gave it up, you don't smoke anymore, you're a non-smoker. Or I stopped to smoke a cigarette. And that to smoke means in order to smoke a cigarette. That's why you stopped, if you like.
Let me give you another example with the infinitive. So imagine I was working all morning. I was working non-stop. I didn't stop working all morning, and I was so tired I stopped to listen to some music for 10 minutes. So I had a break. I stopped the activity of working. Why? As Lynn said before, in order to listen to some music or to have a coffee or to go for a walk. So you're stopping one activity and you're starting another.
Another activity. So maybe you guys could have a little think and see if you can type in the chat file 2 sentences where one with the gerund, one with the infinitive, with the verb stop. Think about something that's personal to you, something that you stopped doing, and something that you stopped to do. Maybe you can have a go and write in the chat.
2 sentences, one of
2
each.
sentences, one of each. Meanwhile, we'll ask Craig what bad habits he has stopped. What have you stopped doing in your life, Craig?
Not enough, Lynn.
Spill the beans.
I need to stop some more bad habits. But years ago, I did stop smoking. And I also stopped drinking. I stopped drinking alcohol many years
Wow,
ago.
completely. So you don't drink any alcohol now? Oh,
Not
wow.
anymore.
That's
When
great.
I was younger, I drank enough beer for all of my life.
Oh, really?
So now I don't drink alcohol. So I've stopped drinking alcohol. But I was working this afternoon and I had a lesson and I stopped working to have a cup of tea. So
Well,
that's the example of the infinitive.
That's what I do. I have classes during the day, and very often between my classes, I stop to have a cup of tea. I stop to go to the kitchen, I put the kettle on, and I stop to have a cup of tea. I have never tried to stop drinking tea. I've never tried that. I know that many people say it's a good thing to do that because I drink a lot of black tea. I drink maybe 8 cups a day. I don't
8
think
cups a day with caffeine.
Yes, yeah.
That's a lot, Lynn.
I know, but I am a little bit addicted to tea. I have to have at least like 3 or 4 in the morning, and I always have one before I go to bed. Always.
With caffeine, and that doesn't
Yes.
it doesn't affect you.
Not at all, no.
Wow.
And I do get a little, it is true that I get a few withdrawal symptoms. I know that I'm addicted because if I don't have a cup of tea in the morning, I don't feel well.
Really?
Yeah. So I know that I am addicted. I know it's not good for me, but I've never tried to stop drinking tea because I love it so much. So that's my bad habit for all the world to know.
Have you ever tried decaffeinated tea?
Yeah, I have.
I drink that sometimes.
I mean, it's okay. It doesn't taste bad, but it's not as.
It's like non-alcoholic beer. It's just not
I like,
not the same.
and no, but I like non-alcoholic beer too. I can drink both, but my choice, certainly first thing in the morning, my choice would be always to have a cup of tea with the real tea.
Yeah.
But of course, because it doesn't seem to affect me. It doesn't make me like, it doesn't keep me awake at night. A lot of people say that the caffeine keeps you awake, but it doesn't do that to me. So I'm not sure whether it's so bad, but if anybody's a doctor there, they might tell me that is really bad for something else. I don't know what
Well,
it is.
there are worse habits to have, Lynn. Believe me, there are
Yeah.
much worse habits. So come on, write sentences in the chat. Not enough of you are participating here. We want 2 sentences from you with stop plus a verb, one with a gerund, one with the infinitive. We do have some examples coming in. Paula,
Paula has done a few.
I stopped studying to watch the live stream.
Oh, that's nice of you. Thank you, Paula. I hope we are filling your time fruitfully. Yeah.
So I noticed that Paula used the present simple there. That means it's more like a habit. So when she's studying, usually she stops in order to watch to watch the live stream. Yep.
Okay. And she's also said that she stopped running outside. And
That's Paolo. That's someone else.
I
That's
beg your pardon.
Paolo.
Yes, that's right. Sorry, Paolo. Paolo said he stopped running outside and now stick to workouts in the gym. So I stopped running outside and now stick to, I like that, stick to workouts in the gym. Yeah. Is that because it's cold, Paolo? Or is it just because you really have stopped doing it full stop, or is it just for the winter? I'd like to know. I would definitely stop running out. I don't run, but if I did, I would stop running outside in the winter because I think it's way too cold.
I've stopped working out in the gym and I run out. Well, not run. I walk outside now. So I've changed.
Oh, really?
I've done the opposite.
It the other way around.
Yeah. And Paula's sentence with the infinitive, I stopped to translate English to or from my native language. So you translate from one language to or into another language. And that's a good example. I stopped to translate English.
From my
Although with AI and instant translations, Paolo, you might be stopping translating completely.
Yeah.
Because the AI will do it for you.
Yeah, that's true.
Do we have any more? Yes, Nacho says, I'm on the way, not on the way to changing bad habits, like drinking beer, for instance. So after the expression on the way to, there you're not using the infinitive, you're using to as a preposition, and after prepositions, as we said last time, that's when you use a gerund. If you have a preposition, to, in, on, at, that's an independent preposition that's not connected to another verb or anything, then you use the gerund. So it should be, I'm on the way to changing some bad habits.
But you haven't stopped doing anything yet, Ignacio. That's
well,
like
maybe it's a New Year's resolution. Maybe in January. That will be
when I was a little girl, I stopped biting my nails. I did go through a period when I was a kid where I used to bite my nails. And I think it lasted for about, I don't know, maybe 6 months or something. But I managed to stop biting my nails. So that was good. And I've never done it since.
Can I just say one thing about Nacho's message there? If you're on the way to doing something, that means you're in the process of doing it. So you're on the, I know you're Spanish, Nacho, the camino de hacer algo. But in the way, there's something preventing you from doing or going somewhere. So maybe you're trying to get into a shop and there are people in the way. So in the way, there's something obstructing you from doing something or going somewhere. Paolo has a question. Make sure Paolo, make sure it's before the verb. So I always get confused. After the pronoun, put always. I always get confused when I have to use some prepositions. Yes, they are confusing. We could look at prepositions in a future live stream, Lynn, next year perhaps.
Yeah, and one thing we did teach, though, in the last class, if you catch up on the one before, is that the prepositions usually are well, there are some prepositions of position. We mentioned that last time. And there are some prepositions that are always that you have to learn that follow a verb or follow an adjective. And we are going to do some more sessions on those in the future, aren't we?
Yes.
But after a preposition, nearly always, 90% of the time, you need an ing form if you're using a verb. You need the gerund form. Okay?
Okay, so that's the verb stop. That's what happens after the verb stop. To stop doing something, the activity, or to stop to do something, a different activity. Let's look at a different verb now that also changes meaning depending on the gerund or infinitive, and that's try. Now, Lynn used the verb try before, didn't you? I don't remember
Yes,
what
I've
you
used them a
said.
lot. I said I
You said
tried to
try
stop.
to stop.
I tried to stop drinking. No, I said I have never tried to stop drinking tea. That's what I
So
said.
if you say try to, let's go to do that first. Try
First,
to stop, then as Lynn said, that's difficult for you, but you're making an effort to do it. And that word effort is really important. So with the infinitive, remember effort. You're making an effort to do something. For example, I'm trying to learn a new software program, but it's very complicated. It's something that you're making an effort to accomplish or to do.
And personally, I mean, I know it's not as obvious in this example, but I also see the connection with this idea of purpose. What is your purpose? To learn a new software. That's why you're making such an effort, because you have a purpose, you have a goal. Yeah, I'm trying to learn something, but it's very complicated. Now, the other try with the gerund, this means something different, because this means that you are experimenting with something. You're trying something as an experiment, possibly as a solution to a problem, to see if it works or not. So Craig said to me when I said, I've never tried to stop drinking tea, Craig wanted to make a suggestion, and he said, have you tried drinking decaf tea?
As an
Have you
experiment.
tried drinking tea decaf? And he's giving a piece of advice, and he's saying, have you experimented with that? But that is not my purpose. That was like an experiment. So try to or try doing is a tricky one. Now, often when we use try with the ing, it's very often that we're in a context of the conversation where we're giving advice. Have you tried seeing a doctor? Have you ever tried eating Christmas cake with cheese?
Oh, no, I don't
It's
think I would
beautiful.
like. I don't think,
It's lovely. I
really?
love it. Yeah, Christmas cake with Stilton cheese, English Christmas cake
With
with
strong cheese like
with
Stilton
Stilton
or
cheese,
Roquefort.
delicious. So I could say, have you ever tried eating that? Have you ever tried drinking gin with peppermint?
Or
Yeah.
if your car won't start because it's too cold in the morning, you might say, "Have you tried pushing it and
Uh-huh.
starting it with the gears? Have you tried pushing it
Uh-huh.
as an experiment to see if it works, it starts?" So
Uh-huh.
just try and remember, just try and remember with the gerund, that's the experiment, and with the infinitive, that's the effort. So just connect those two words to the gerund
Or
infinitive.
the
That's
purpose. Or the
or the
purpose.
purpose
The
exactly,
purpose.
or the purpose.
The purpose.
So now
And
it's your turn. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
sorry, another little tip that might give you that little clue if you start getting confused and you're not really sure, is that I often think the ing form, in English, it's always to do with action as well. And I always think like experimentation is kind of action, isn't it? It's not something projected to the future. So have you tried doing something? So maybe you can write some examples again with try to and tried doing. or tried plus ing. We've got a couple of more. Orlando has given us an example. He said, "I stopped taking emotional decision." Just a tiny little error there between an. You need an because a is a vowel, emotional is a vowel, so you need to say an.
Or it
But
might be plural, emotional
maybe you would
decisions.
want to say it in plural better. I
Yeah.
stopped taking emotional decisions because they were not doing me any good. Yeah. Yeah. That's
Hi, Marlene. Thank you for joining us. We're looking at gerunds infinitives, and we've just looked at the difference with try. So if you're just joining us now, please say hi in the chat. Tell us where you're from. And our challenge to you is to write in the chat one example with the verb try when it's followed by a gerund, and another example with the verb try when it's followed by an infinitive. That's what we're asking. Please write your example sentences in the chat to show the difference in meaning.
And Nacho has written, have you ever tried playing board games on Saturdays? Of course, Nacho.
You like board games, don't you?
Oh, I love playing board games. I play board games often on Saturdays and Sundays. I love playing board games.
What's
It's
your
a
favorite?
wonderful way to relax. I love playing Scrabble.
Scrabble.
Yeah, so I play Scrabble with my family. My daughters love it too, and we're quite competitive.
Are you?
But
Is it?
I also like the board game Rummy Cub, and I
I
like the
like Rummy
board
Cub.
game Articulate, which is very good if you're trying to learn English, but it's hard if you're a learner of English. Articulate. Do you know that game, Craig?
I think I've never played it, but I think I
Oh,
know
it's
how
lovely.
it works.
You have to sort of define.
Is that the one where you mime
No,
different
you
words?
don't mime. You have to
Okay.
describe. That's why it's difficult for non-native speakers.
Okay.
You play in teams, and you have to describe the word to the team, and the team has to guess the word, and you only have a minute.
So it's like charades, but with words.
But with words, and you're speaking. But
Okay.
it's good because it makes you good at articulating. You get very good at remembering synonyms and paraphrases of words. So it's good for your linguistic ability.
Orlando has an example. Have you tried traveling to Colombia?
Never.
I've always wanted to travel to Colombia, Orlando, but I haven't had the opportunity. I want to go. It's a country that I'd love to visit. So hopefully within the next 2 or 3 years, I will make it to Colombia. I went to Mexico this year in May. That was lovely. And so maybe next year will be the year to go and visit Colombia. If I do, I'll let you know. Nice example. Have you tried learning an instrument?
Now, Ruth, that's a lovely question.
Yeah, it
And
is.
here is a nice complex answer for you, right?
There's
So
a
if you
piano
ask
behind
me
you, so I'm
there's a piano behind me. So you've said, have you tried learning an instrument? And I say, Ruth, I keep trying to learn my piano, but I'm not very successful. Now, I've said I keep trying to learn. What I'm telling you there is that I have this intention always, but I'm not very successful in making it happen. Yeah. So yes, but I've definitely tried to. I've tried learning to play the piano, and I'm still trying to learn to play the piano because that's my intention. What about you, Craig? Have you ever tried learning an instrument?
I tried learning the drums years ago.
Oh, that's a nice
Yeah,
instrument.
but I wasn't very successful. A friend of mine had a lovely set of drums, and I really wanted to play these drums, but it was a very expensive set of drums. And he said, you can play these drums, but first you have to practice a drum roll. And when you can do a good drum roll, I will let you play the drums. So I tried to learn the drum roll. I couldn't do it, and unfortunately, he wouldn't let me play his very expensive set of drums. So no,
Yeah.
I wasn't very successful.
It's not easy. Drums are not. It's not an easy
No,
instrument.
it's not easy. I recommend you to try that healthy restaurant in the centre. Yeah, well, that's a lovely sentence, Marlene, but we're looking for a verb after try. We want you to put a verb after try. For example, with restaurants, you could say, have you tried eating in the new restaurant that's just opened up in the centre? So there I'm using the verb eat as a gerund, eating, as an experiment.
And my answer will be, do you know, I tried to eat in that restaurant on Saturday, but it was closed.
So you made an effort to do it.
And then I'm saying I tried to eat in that restaurant
I
on
tried to
Saturday,
book.
but it was closed.
But it was full. I tried to
Yeah.
book. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Shall we move on?
Yeah, I reckon we should.
I reckon. Okay. Keep writing your examples. We will go back to previous verbs as well, but we want to move to We want to move to the next verb, which is two actually. Remember and forget.
Oh, yes. Now, these are tricky ones for Spanish speakers often.
Remember and forget. So both of those verbs, remember and forget, when they're followed by a gerund or an ing form, they refer to having a memory of something in the past or not having a memory of something in the past. For example, I remember studying French in school. That's an old memory. So I remember doing it. So when you use the gerund after remember, you're going back in time to a memory. And with forget, we have another example. I'll never forget doing our first live stream with Lynne.
Me neither. And we did it with Monica too. I was with Monica.
We did.
Oh,
yes.
no, that wasn't the first one, actually. Monica was on holiday. I did it with you when Monica was on holiday. We continued doing then sometimes with Monica. We did a Christmas special with Monica.
Oh, Monica says hello, by the way. I spoke to her
lovely.
recently, and she said, "Oh, say hello to Lynne next time," because she watches us sometimes doing the live
does
stream.
she?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, but I'll never forget doing our first live stream. I was very nervous, Craig.
Were you?
Yeah. Very nervous.
You're very relaxed now.
But yeah, it's 3 years. It's it's like being married for so long.
we're married to live streams.
We're married to live streams. Now, with remember, at the moment, Craig is saying you remember doing something in the past, right? So it's a memory of something in the past. But this can be a bit confusing because sometimes we can use remember in the negative. So you can say, I can't remember locking the door. Or I can't remember feeding the cat. Right?
The older you get, the more you need that sentence.
You do.
I can't remember turning off the gas on the cooker.
I can't remember feeding the cat. I can't remember buying that. Yeah. Now, the thing is, obviously, it's not something that really happened because you can't remember it. But the idea is you are referring to a memory of an action in the past. That's what you mean. And of course, if you say it in the negative, you're expressing that you're not sure. So I can't remember studying French, or I do remember studying French in school. Okay. All right. Now, shall we have a look at the other one?
With the infinitive, with remember and forget, that means that there's something we need to do before we do it.
Now, again, we're coming here again with that really tenuous connection with purpose. So I can say, Craig, remember to feed the cat.
If I had a cat, I would remember.
Remember to feed the cat. And what I'm saying is, please remember, in future, you have to feed the cat. Please remember to feed the cat. You could also say, I forgot to feed the cat. So what you forgot is you forgot your purpose. I forgot to feed the cat. I forgot my purpose. I got lost. That's different to I forgot feeding the cat, because there, if you say I forgot feeding the cat, or I remember feeding the cat, then you remember a memory of you actually doing it, not an intention. It's quite complicated, isn't it?
I don't remember feeding the cat.
I don't
Let's
remember
let's look at some
feeding
other
the cat.
examples. Please remember to visit our web pages and show us some love. Putitlikethis.com at the bottom of the screen, and englishcraig.com if you want conversation classes. Don't remember to do it. This is looking to the future. Also with the infinitive, you're looking to the future with remember. So don't remember to do it in the future. If you're going out, don't remember to buy milk, for example. If you're going to see someone, don't remember. Don't forget. Don't forget to say hello from me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or another example, I forgot to tell you, Lynn, about my idea for next year's live streams. I forgot to tell you. Again, that's a future reference.
Yeah, it is. Okay. So you've got to start writing now in the chat, please.
Yes. Can you write examples?
Remember or forget.
One
With
example of
gerund or
each.
the infinitive. Maybe we can try as well. Ruth gave us another example with try, just while you're busy with that. She said she's trying to climb that mountain. That's
Good
fine.
example.
Maybe you're looking at somebody and you say she's trying to climb that mountain. Ignacios is like me. He said he kept trying to play the piano when he was a kid. However, I'm not making any effort to play it nowadays. Lovely. I am not trying to play it nowadays. You could have said try. You've used a synonym of try, which I'm not, to make an effort. Effort with T. I think that's just a typo, to play it nowadays. But you could say I'm not trying to play it nowadays. But perfect. Okay.
Denise has a lovely example that's true for me as well. I'm trying to lose weight. I've been trying to lose weight for years, Denise. Have you ever tried not eating at dinner?
Many times.
No, that's
With
funny because I
more
know
work.
I know that Denise really enjoys food. She really loves food, and she's from Greece, and Greece has lovely food. So it's difficult. No, I've never tried not eating dinner.
I don't think that's a good idea, Denise. I think you should just eat your dinners.
I think you should try not eating dessert after dinner and just eating, the main course, perhaps. Ruth has an example.
I don't think that's a good piece of advice, Craig. I think you should eat dessert, Denise, but maybe you should try eating smaller portions of everything.
Yeah, that's a
I think
good
the best way
suggestion.
to lose weight, is to not deprive yourself of anything, like, because otherwise you get obsessed with it. But just try to eat smaller portions of everything, and you still get the taste.
Ruth says, I remember going for the first time to the seashore.
Sure. Do you know that's very good. You've written that well, Ruth. Do you know I grew up at the beach, at the coast. I'm from Sunderland in the northeast of England, and we have a sea and we have a beautiful coast. But, I don't think I can remember the first time I went to the sea. I can't remember going to the sea for the first time. Can you? I
I
can't
can,
remember
yeah.
seeing the sea for the first time. But you
Yeah,
can, yeah?
I can. I'm from Essex, and the beach was about an hour's drive, an hour and a half from where we lived, and I remember going for the first time. I remember the smell of the sea, the salt in the air. I
You see,
remember
but
coming
I
down a hill and seeing the sea in the
uh-huh.
distance.
I
Yeah,
wonder I wonder if that's because you didn't grow up next to the sea.
probably.
So it was really special. It was something different. But I can't remember going for the first, or I can't remember seeing the sea for the first time. It was just always there. Yeah.
Okay, any more examples with remember and forget? They are quite tricky, those two.
They are, I think they are tricky.
Just try to remember that when you're thinking of a memory in the past, that's the gerund.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're looking to the future, or as Lynn said, with that slight meaning of purpose as well in the future,
Mm-hmm.
or something referring to the future, that's when you need the infinitive after remember and
Mm-hmm.
forget. Don't forget to do something, or
Mm-hmm.
remember to do something.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do we have next? Go on. Go on with a gerund.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is something that's quite annoying. If someone goes on doing something that it bothers you, it annoys you. For example, she went on talking about her trip, or they went on talking about their baby for hours and hours and hours. So you continue the same activity, sometimes annoyingly.
I've
Is
just been
that
saying all the examples you made, it was me all the time.
no? They're just examples.
No,
There's
I go on a lot.
So if someone goes on and they continue doing something,
Uh-huh.
and sometimes it's annoying.
It's annoying. Uh-huh.
However, Lynn, with the infinitive, what happens?
Well, again, if you use it with the infinitive, it means that you progress to a new activity. So I can say she went on to talk about her plans for the future. And in this sense, it doesn't mean continue the same activity, but it means she continued and then she went and did something else. Uh-huh. So it's like, again, it's that sense of purpose. So you're not annoying, you're not going around in a circle repeatedly. She going on about her babies. She was going on and on about her babies. But she went on to talk about how important it was to have a life outside being a mother. There you are.
Let's think of another example. So I was preparing this live stream and writing some examples, and then I finished, and then I went on to prepare my lessons for tomorrow. So I finished one
Mm-hmm.
activity and I went on to do something else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, can you also please write two examples for go on plus gerund, and go on plus infinitive,
Mm-hmm.
and see what you can think of. Let's see if we have any examples. We've
We
got
have
some
a few
examples
examples from
from
Remember
remember.
again. So Ruth is giving us the example with two because she did a very good example with she remembered going for the first time to the seashore. And now she's saying, I try to remember to do exercise regularly.
Good
That's
example,
great.
Ruth. Yep,
Great.
that's excellent.
Orlando has said, I remember
Looking
looking my
my gift every
gift every
birthday.
birthday.
What
Looking for
looking
my gift. Uh,
for?
So
Maybe,
maybe
yeah.
you're talking about a childhood memory, Orlando, and when you were a child, you remember looking for your gift
I
as soon as
remember
you
I,
woke
I
up in the
remember doing
morning
that at Christmas
at Christmas.
because
Yeah.
my mum and dad used to buy Christmas presents and then wrap them in Christmas paper and
Mm,
hide them in the house, and I knew that they were hidden in the wardrobe very high,
mm-hmm,
so because I was obviously short, I was young, and I couldn't see the presents, and I knew
mm-hmm,
where they were. I remember climbing to the top of the
mm-hmm.
wardrobe on the shelves, and I was holding on trying to see my presents, and suddenly the wardrobe came down
Oh, wow.
on top of me.
Uh-huh.
And my dad came up the stairs and he was really, really angry. I remember he was so angry because like the wardrobe was it wasn't broken, but all the clothes were everywhere. And
Uh-huh.
he didn't worry about my health. He didn't say, "Are you okay, son?" No, he was worried about the mess I made trying to see
Uh-huh.
my Christmas presents.
Uh-huh.
Trying to see. Did you
See,
notice?
trying to
Trying
see
to see.
his Christmas presents. So I think that's what you mean, Orlando, but you just forget I remember looking for. To
For.
look for means searching. So I remember looking for my gift every birthday. And he thinks maybe we should remember to achieve your goals before the end of the year.
That's good
Yeah.
advice. Don't forget to achieve all your goals before the end of the year.
Although, to be honest with you, I'm under so much stress at the moment with Christmas. My advice to myself, I'm going to forget to achieve any more goals before the end of the year because I can't deal with it anymore. It's too stressful.
I look back at the beginning of the year. My goals for the year were to lose weight. I haven't done haven't done that. Do more exercise. I haven't done that. Read more books. I haven't done that. So I don't think I've achieved any of my goals this year. Marlene says, I remember playing the flute. That's a good example when I was a child. Unfortunately, I've stopped because of a busy routine. So, yeah, I've stopped playing the flute. I've stopped practicing.
Ruth put a nice one. He goes on playing the violin out of tune. Yeah, that must be very annoying, whoever that is. Okay. And Denise has said a nice one. I don't remember locking the car, so I go back every time to check it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's often something that we don't remember doing, and then we ask ourselves, "Oh my goodness, did I lock the car or not?" And I don't remember locking the car, so I better check.
And Ruth says he goes on trying to play the violin out of tune. Yeah.
She's corrected herself there. And Nacho has said, I remember unpacking a Christmas present from the Three Wise Men. Yeah.
Nice.
We
Good
all
example,
did.
Nacho. That's a very nice example.
And I do hope that you will remember to write them a nice letter this year. Because if you don't write them a nice letter, then they won't remember to bring you any presents.
That's right. Time is getting on. Let's go. We've got 2 more verbs for you, and the next verb is mean. To mean. So that verb mean, when it's followed by an ing, a gerund. Being a doctor means working long hours. So it's another way of saying it requires or involves working long hours. What does it mean? It means doing this. Being an English teacher means explaining grammar to students, for example. However, Lynn, when it's an infinitive, what happens?
It means I meant to call you yesterday, and it means I intended to call you. Now, I think mean is a little bit easier than the other verbs that we talked about. Because if you go to the previous one, Craig, that you put up with mean, this really, if you change the verb mean for the verb to signify, that makes it a lot easier, doesn't it? In this sense, it means signify. So being a doctor means working long hours, signifies or represents. Whereas in the other meaning, which is I meant to call you yesterday, or I mean, if you can switch the banner, Craig. I meant to call you yesterday. That meant to nearly always means I intended. It doesn't mean signify.
Is it always in the past with that infinitive?
I think so.
I think it is.
I think
something
it
you
is.
intended to do, something you meant to do in the past. I had a student years ago who said to me one lesson, he said, Craig, what does mean?
That's difficult.
Yeah, tricky one to answer that.
But it is true when it's in the sense of intention. I think it's usually in the past.
Yep.
I can't think of. Sometimes we might say.
I've been meaning to call you.
I've been meaning to call you, or I can say, do you mean to call me tomorrow or next week? That's also possible in the.
Do you intend? Yes.
Do you intend to? So occasionally it's in other in other verb forms, but very often it's in the present perfect, like I've been meaning to, or I meant to.
That's quite common, isn't it? I've been meaning to. I've been meaning to go on a diet. I've been meaning to stop
Or
drinking whiskey.
I didn't mean to offend you. I didn't mean to offend you. That's past simple as well, which was I didn't intend to cause any offense. Okay.
Okay, can you write two sentences with mean, please? One followed by a gerund and one
Mm-hmm.
followed by the infinitive.
Mm-hmm.
Mean plus ing and mean plus to
Mm-hmm.
something.
Mm-hmm.
And see if you can use those correctly.
And if you're getting a little bit, if there is steam coming out of your heads at the moment, thinking, "Oh my God, how am I going to remember all of this?" The good news is that I don't know how many verbs we've done. 6, is it, Craig? 6,
Um,
7.
Stop, try, remember, forget, regret. Oh no, we haven't done regret, have we?
No, well, don't worry.
No,
Regret, and we've got
regret.
need. But anyway, the ones that we're doing, it's only about 6 or 8. I don't know how many. Craig will count in a moment. And this is about it, of the verbs that that change meaning, right? So if you can master these verbs that we've telling you today, there really aren't I don't think there's any more that you'll probably use in common language. Okay, so once you've got these ones, that's all right. And then the other ones is a question of it's either or it's or.
Six verbs.
6 verbs we've got here. All right. Ignacio, I'll read out some of the examples. Ruth has said, being a mother means having a lot of responsibility. It absolutely does, Ruth. I agree.
Yes, good example.
A good example. Nacho says, do you mean to call you tomorrow or the day after tomorrow? Yeah, when you're asking for clarification.
I would say, do you mean I should call you? Do you mean no, that's something that's not quite right there, Lynn.
To call me tomorrow
do you
or
mean
the
to
day
call
after
me
tomorrow. If you're asking about the intention of somebody, you could say, do you mean to call me tomorrow or the day after?
or do you mean I
I
should call
should
you?
call you.
So when you put that pronoun in there, then you're not having a verb immediately after mean. So the grammar changes. Do you mean I should call you tomorrow or the day after?
Paula says, I mean to pass my exam. Yeah, that's all right. I
I
mean to
intend
pass
to.
my exam. Yeah, I intend to. Very strong.
Good.
Okay, shall we do regret or
Well,
need?
let's do the last one, need, because I don't have a
Need.
banner for regret. I'll have to create
Okay.
one quickly. So I'll leave you to
Okay.
do need
So need.
while
All
I
right.
create a banner for.
Okay.
Yeah, I meant to create a banner, but I forgot to do it.
Okay. So
So
need,
need.
we have the gerund. And if you follow need with the gerund, we are talking about a requirement. So we can say the car needs washing. So that's the requirement. But if you say, I need to wash the car, this is more of like a modal verb. So it means it's a necessity. I have to, or an obligation. Yeah. I have to wash the car. I need to wash the car. Right. But the requirement, if you like, then we would say the car needs washing. Or I think it's also to do with whether for this verb, whether it's the washing is kind of like the gerund when it means a noun. So because you could say the car needs a wash as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the car needs a clean. A clean. Or the car needs washing. The car needs cleaning. Okay.
Yeah. So again, can you write two sentences with those meanings of need and also mean? And we'll put your examples on the screen and tell you if you've done it correctly. But moving on quickly, because we also want to do the last verb, which is regret. Now, if regret is followed by a gerund, an ing form, that means you feel bad about something that happened in the past, something you did or didn't do. For example, I regret going to the chess players' Christmas dinner because it took them 3 hours to pass the salt. No, Lynn doesn't get that.
I regret going to the chess place. Craig's jokes. My goodness. My goodness.
Took you a while to get that one, Lynn.
It did. Do.
So it's something that you regret doing in the past. Regrets are a bit of a waste of time. I don't think it's useful to regret things, but it's a human condition, I think, to regret doing or saying something to someone. I wish I hadn't have said it. I regret saying it.
And here, in this sense, you can group this verb regret with forget and remember as well.
Yeah.
Because we said that with the gerund, it's about something, a memory, something in the past with the ing form. And then we also have a use of regret with the infinitive. And it's actually a very formal structure. You probably see it if any of you work in business and you have contact with English emails and things. Sometimes you'll see it's a very formal structure, and it means you're sorry to give bad news. So you say, it often goes with the verbs inform, say, or tell. So, for example, we regret to inform you that we cannot offer you the
Job,
bridal
position.
suite or the job. Or we regret to inform you that your car has been found in an accident. Or we regret to inform you that
The next train will be delayed.
the next train will be delayed. That's right. Okay. So, and again, that the two is that we are going to tell you, our purpose is to tell you some bad news. Again, it's this purpose. It's more to the future, whereas the ing form is more to a memory in the past. Okay. Good.
So, yeah, that's it. We're those are the verbs we wanted to share with you. We've got some examples coming in as well. Paula says, I mean to pass my exam. Perfect. Very good, Paula. That's excellent. Orlando says, being a teacher means giving with love. So you need the gerund after means because that's the meaning of it. It means doing something. It means giving knowledge with love. Thank you. That's a lovely thing to say. I also like the gerund you use at the beginning of the sentence as the subject of the sentence, Orlando. Very good. Being a teacher means giving knowledge with love. Marlena says, you might have misunderstood me. I meant something different. Very good. Yeah, that's not what I meant. I meant to say something different.
Something different.
I need, you need the infinitive there. I need to be in contact with nature.
Because this is your personal it's your personal need. This is your feeling, isn't it? It's your almost your obligation to yourself. I need to be in contact with nature there, Ruth.
If you substitute need for have to there, Ruth, then the meaning is very similar. I have to be in contact with nature. I need to be in contact with nature. And Nacho says, I regret watching TV too much. Yeah, me too. I regret watching too much TV this year, for sure. And also, I regret studying English. I would say maybe I regret not studying English enough might be better when I was young.
Yeah.
Not studying,
that
use a
word
negative.
slightly doesn't really fit there, Nacho. So I regret not studying English when I was young, or I regret not taking English seriously when I was young. Maybe.
So shall we, Lynn, go back to the beginning and just give a quick review of those verbs to remind people?
Okay, if you like.
So stop when it's with the gerund, that is something that's not happening anymore, an activity you've stopped doing. And with the infinitive, it means that something has ceased or stopped so that you can do something else.
So just give a quick example. So I stopped smoking when I was 25, but my husband stops to have a cigarette every 5 hours.
Good.
Okay, for
Yes.
example. Not true, but okay. And then we have try. And when you follow try with the gerund, it's experimenting with something. Whereas if you follow try with the infinitive, it's to express your purpose, what you want to achieve in the future. So I can say, I tried drinking decaf coffee, but I didn't really like it very much. I will try to drink less coffee in the future because I know I should.
And tea.
And tea. Well, not tea, no. I don't want to try to drink less tea.
And with remember and forget, when it's the gerund, that's something that's usually in the past, that's gone, an activity you've done, a memory you have or don't have. For example, I remember going to my friend's house by bicycle when I was younger. And when you're using the infinitive with remember, that usually refers to the future. And as Lynn said, it's got a lot to do with purpose. So remember to get some bread on your way home from work. Regret.
Regret. So regret again with the ing is this memory in the past about something that you did or didn't do in the past, and with the future with the two, it's telling you the intention of delivering some kind of bad news. So we could say, what do I regret? Oh, I don't regret very much. But what do I regret doing?
Do you regret
I
not learning the piano at a younger age?
Yes, I regret not. Well, I regret not having the opportunity to learn the piano at an earlier age. Yes, I regret not having been able to learn the piano when I was younger. Um, um, and I regret to inform everybody who's looking at my beautiful piano that nobody in my house knows how to play it.
Imagine when you go move into a new flat, a new apartment, and the estate agent says, "I regret to inform you that your neighbour plays the drums."
That's true.
Go on when it's followed by a gerund. That means something that continues the same activity, or someone continues the same activity. Sometimes annoyingly, like he goes on doing the same thing every day. He goes on playing the drums when he comes home. And when it's followed by the infinitive, then you're moving on to another activity. So I finished one thing and I went on to do another thing.
And then mean, okay, all right. So we had this mean, and we said when it's followed by a gerund, it tends to have the meaning of signify. So being a doctor means working long hours. Learning, mastering English, unfortunately, means understanding the difference between gerunds and infinitives. It means it involves it. And then when we follow it with a to verb, the infinitive, we are talking about intentions. And please believe us, everyone, we didn't mean to confuse you during this class. And we hope that we haven't confused you. We hope that you have learned something.
Yeah. My flat needs cleaning. It's very dirty. If something needs doing, it requires doing. You need to do it. It needs doing. And regret was the last one, I think.
No, we did regret. I did regret. I
Oh, you did
regret not
regret.
playing the
Okay.
piano. Yeah.
Okay, you did regret. Fantastic. Well, that's it. We hope that's been useful. One final comment from Paolo. I regret being involved in bullying when I was at school. Were you the bullier or the bullyee? Were you being bullied, Paolo, or were you the person who was bullied? Both are unfortunate. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but your grammar's correct. So you paid attention while you were at school.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So thank you very much for your efforts. And we do hope that we have helped you learn a little bit more about gerunds and infinitives. And just to remind you, my website is putitlikethis.com. I'm an online English teacher, and I tailor-make courses for my students. So if you're interested, if you have a specific objective in English, you can go to my website and you can see what I do and contact me over there. Okay?
We're going to take a break for a couple of weeks, well, more than a couple of weeks, but obviously Christmas is coming up and we're going to have a break until probably February, I'm
February. It'll
guessing.
be February, the first week in February, probably.
But if you need some English before February and you want to practice your speaking, I'll be starting more conversation groups in January, the middle of January. So if you would like to join me and a group of lovely, motivated students, a small group on Zoom to practice speaking, go to my website, englishcraig.com, and just request a free Zoom consultation for 10 or 15 minutes. And then I'll give you the schedule depending on your level and which group it's available for you to join. So come and have a chat, englishcraig.com. Listen to the podcast at inglespodcast.com or wherever you listen to podcasts to help your English. And also if you're a Spanish speaker, and I know some of you in the chat are, then mansioningles.com is the place to go for Spanish help while learning English. And with that, happy Christmas. Stay safe. Enjoy yourself with your family.
Yes.
And have a very,
Christmas.
very happy New Year.
Yes, I hope so too. And remember to keep thinking about English with intentions for the future.
Keep on studying.
Keep on studying. All right.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Merry Christmas.